I found the long man, yeah, that's the highest self. If you don't get the gift for love, you deny yourself. That old white swag, fences and turbans, through the Moorish flag, the lion and every merger. But tuck from this world, it's one of the longest servants. Repent from your simple ways, Drew Ali. You say you free for seeing your babies to day school. To jump the hoops, eat they food, you they food. Hit doggy doggy when you go on with that collar on. You still even if you get your Rottweiler on. This movement right here ain't for the passive. You shook, sweating, brow, dripping molasses. Reactive, at will we speed up the molecule. But slow down the ethers, back the flesh with the olive you. Praise the Lord for Prophet Drew, we honor you. The quarter song, wheel on me and rendezvous.
The reconciliation of the one and the many, his manifestations are plenty, yet he has no partners, unlike the created, into whom was Jesus first reincarnated. MCs get cremated, spitting that blasphemy. I tend to agree with Ibn Arabi and Al-Ghazali. 99 names, attributes infinite in number, no sleep nor slumber. Overtake me, not bound by the petty emotions of frail and weak humanity. Such insanity, there can't be two absolutes, but that would change the definition of the word. The word is bond, the fix is solved, in his mind revolves countless universes. That's why we call him Father. He's farther, yet closer than your jugular vein. Al-Malik, the king will always reign.
To the one who is supreme, most wise, beneficent, executive of everything, seen and unseen. And in him alone belong worship, adoration, and praise for the rest of my days. Wonderful he is in all ways. His knowledge transcends the patterns that your thoughts relate. Stretched out the heavens with his hands, fingers draw courses for the stars. Build worlds with his words, smite planets with his arm. Majestic, omnipotent, over the void. Don't take his anger or you'll be destroyed. He institutes the law, the government of all beings, and his will's built in the nature of each one of these things. His providence is always forever his works. Rule with infinite wisdom, we stay in search of the purpose. There's but one Allah, the governor of the world, the author, creator, almighty, eternal, incomprehensible, the father of the five principles.
Lord, it's me right here, this loving individual, sitting in this crib with the beams of a smoke signal. My heart says beware, situation critical, a whole lot of stairs, straight to residual. I'm caught in this air, it's sticky material. All I can declare is I'm off the original path that was paid with the price that you paid with your life. It's got me stopping the bumbling and the race. Hey, about me, things the truth about me. It's much deeper than what you or I see, but if you are like me, you gotta walk my face. So you know, the trouble I see, nobody knows.
I'm the color's been hidden from history. You ain't know the color of Misery's brown skin. You ain't gotta listen to tell you how I went. We been through more troubles than others, times 10. Ain't got to give a cool island. Now how about you? You said you're my friend. I'm not by rule, but I'm riding to the end. Down to shed blood, every brother's my kin. If I said I love you, then yeah, I meant it. Your name's Calico, but call me a lieutenant. Life's highs and lows, I strive to keep winning, but I'm about to explode if these coppers keep killing. And it's right in your face, disgrace beyond limits. Have a rhyme, say face till your partner stop killing. We need the power of the Christ, so tonight we'll start healing. Then we'll work on the poison all the hustlers dealing. When I tell you, nobody
knows. I'm sure I see. Nobody knows.
Muftis, Islam, scimitar in my house. There's a picture on the wall, and all the lights set up on this scroll. Down this lane, in my crib. There's a picture on the wall, the prophet set up on this scroll. All of the demonstrations in my rest. There's a picture on the wall, down the prophet set up on the scroll. Oh, you smarter than the founder, huh? Then demonstrate. Luke T and Abba Lord had to congregate to further the debate, to see if Noble Drew Ali is who we say it is. But let's check the record of the biz. Stepped upon the scene in 1925 in Chicago, all by himself. Less than 4 years multiplied his wealth and economic infrastructure, gave lawless Asiatics some structure, taught young Moorish men to preserve their seed, their structure, prepare the scripture and a prayer custom, standing reverently upright. A lot of sheiks are uptight and they tightly wound. I'm like a hound, they got the scent of a rabbit. This rabbit disrespect of our God, we can't let walk on by. And you come in with all that innovation, puffed up with conceit in your demonstration. The feds is black for this execution. In my house, there's a picture on the wall, and all the prophets sit up on the scroll. In my crib, there's a picture on the wall, the prophets sit up on the scroll, and all the demonstrations. In my rest, there's a picture on the wall, and the prophets set up on the scroll. In my gates, there's a picture on the wall, and the prophets set up on the scroll.
The counter march of the silent soldiers. The Roman hordes couldn't hold us. Did the Inquisition hitting and read like Moses. The prophet chose us. The holy fire unfroze us. From 33 degrees of a dead plane rose us. Perpendicular, demonstration gesticular. Standing on my square with that pickaxe hitting you in the temple till you recognize the temple. Look, killer dead status, all that matters, that simple. The true Amir, the last street Khalif, Sultan City, Muhammad the third's ear, average right here. Look, brother, it's quite clear. The prophet brought the truth to us. I spit like this, I can make the whole booth combust. Who but us? Bring a swing of scimitar sharpened. Shook his naughty foe, perm straight like sharpened. They stood idle. New Moors is moving by you. If you hating, and you should be demonstrating out the Bible. Stop hating no more.
In my house, there's a picture on the wall of the heart that sits upon this throne. In my crib, there's a picture on the wall of the prophet sits upon his throne. In my rest, there's a picture on the wall of the prophet sits upon his throne. In my days, there's a picture on the wall of the prophet sits upon his throne.
This man was teaching Islam here ahead of everybody else. That means ahead of Master Farad Muhammad and Elijah Muhammad, of which in the nation of Islam,
yes, sir,
under the strict religious blindness or binder.
Here we go.
No Islam.
Here we go. We back.
No knowledge.
We back. Salute.
Disrespect, and I love disrespect.
Where was y'all in 1913? This is way before Martin had a dream. Way before Elijah had fraud. We was in the grave, the land of the Lord. Where was y'all when he was on the milk crate? Going hard on 35th State. Where was y'all when he only had his flag on Indiana Avenue, man on his head? Hey, where was y'all when the enemy tried to kill him? When they said he was a prophet, but really didn't feel him? Where y'all at now? Are you with me? Are you down? It's time to stand up. The prophecy is down. Hey! Now what you gonna do about it? Trying to know what you Ali, he knew about it. That's right. I'm the third and fourth generation. So I ain't worried about all the hate and all the crazy misinformation in the South. Cause all the real places you were part of the plot to keep them on top and leave us at the bottom with the mouth you call the prophet in your heart. You forgot him. Hey! You ain't fighting this more right. Bags under eyes, having something full night. Reading all the books and studying the law. But the prophet was the first to send the Moorish song. He let me speak clearly cut on the south side. 30,000 on the 29, ready to ride on food, on stores, on community. And I'm going with the prophets on it. What you gonna do to me? Where was y'all at 1913? Way before Martin had a dream. Right, way before Elijah had fraud. We was in the grave, the land of the Lord. Where was y'all? He was on the middle. Hey! Going hard on 35th State. Where was y'all when he only had his flag on Indiana Avenue? Head on his head. Hey! Where was y'all when the enemy tried to kill him? When they said he was a prophet, but really didn't feel him? Where y'all at now? Are you with me? Are you down? It's time to stand up. The prophecy is down. Hey! I hear you talking, but show me what you producing. The enemy loves it, are we here talking stupid? Up in the courts, getting beat up in the hallway. The king crown is on the ground, it's gonna be a long day. Make me wanna cry, I can't deny it. You see my people so misguided. Why in the world we so divided? All we gotta do is use what the prophet provided. Always trying to take the shortcut. Repeating weird stuff like we on a short bus. The world is watching, and people waiting for us to stand up and do the Moorish Nation. Hey, where was y'all at in 1913? This is way before Martin had a dream. Way before Elijah had fraud. We was in the grave, the land of the Lord. Hey, where was y'all when he was on the milk crate? Going hard on 35th State. Where was y'all when he only had his flag on Indiana Avenue? Flags on his head.
tell you, goddammit, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. No more. So if I say it, I mean it. If I mean it, shit, I say it. I understand, man.
What was y'all in 1913? This is way before Martin had a dream. Way before Elijah had blood. We was in the way, the land of the Lord. What was y'all when he was on the milk crate? Going hard, a 35th state. What was y'all when he only had the flag? Or even had the Avenue, flares on his head? Hey, what was y'all when the enemy tried to kill him? When they said he was a prophet, but still didn't kill him? When y'all let down, are you with me, are you down? It's time to stand up, the prophecy is down, hey! The prophecy is down, hey! The prophecy is down, it's time to stand up. It's time to stand up, the prophecy is down, hey! The prophecy is down, hey! Islam, Islam, Islam. First and foremost, I rise, giving praise to the great God of the universe, Allah. I give honor to his noble, illustrious prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I give honor to each and every one of you who are attending this demonstration this evening. I give honor to my brothers and sisters and the officials of the noble temples and everybody who have followed me as we begin to transition, evolve, and unfold here on Moorish World TV. Let me get my setup straight. Well, as you can see, we got something in store for you. What we're going to do tonight is we're going to clarify the difference between a Moorish sovereign citizen, and some people don't like that term. Some people don't like that term. A Moorish sovereign citizen or a Moorish national. I'm going to tell you, I prefer to call them, my brothers, Moorish nationals. You know what I mean? I prefer to call them Moorish nationals. But for the sake of understanding, they have been classified as Moorish sovereign citizens. And rightfully so. And I say rightfully so because a lot of the tactics that are used by those who are called Moorish sovereign citizens are tactics of European or what they would label white supremacists. And so the same tactics that the white supremacists use, and I'm going to use the term white supremacists because that's what they call them. And so we can have understanding. And one thing I'm not going to do, and moving forward, is I'm not going to put myself inside of a box where as though we only know what we're talking about. So in other words, I don't have no problem with using the term white supremacist. Although I know Europeans are not white. Of course I don't. Of course they're not white. However, the term white supremacist is indicative of those who are in opposition, Europeans who are in opposition of the functionality of the United States government as they know it. Whatever reason it is, that's not my fight, that's not my issue, I could care less. But they're known as white supremacists. Now, the white supremacists believe that the government has been overthrown, and now this is an artificial government in place that is oppressing and treating us less than citizens. Well, those brothers and sisters known as Moorish nationals feel the same way. Now, where did they get this from? Obviously, they got it from the white supremacists. Obviously, they got it from the white supremacists, and they have used the Moorish, Moorish, they have used the Moorish brand or title to further their endeavors of the white supremacists. I'm going to use, listen. I'm qualified. I know who I am. I know Europeans are not white, but again, that's what they're referred to as white supremacists, those who wish to overthrow the said government. Now, our brothers and sisters of Asiatic persuasion, also known as Negroes, Blacks, African Americans, they use the exact same tactics. They use the exact same tactics. And tonight, we're going to show you the difference between a Moorish American and a Moorish National. Now, and if you don't like it, I got a warning up here. If you have any problems at all accepting readily accessible or well-documented facts, we highly recommend that you do not view the following: the Moorish American and the Moorish National. Understanding the difference. There is a major, major difference. With that being said, let's go to the first slide. The first slide, I want to share with y'all something from the Prophet Noble Drew Ali to kick this off. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali states in the Moorish Guide, and I want y'all to listen closely to this because this sets the tone, for what the Moorish Science Temple of America is about and should be dedicated to. It reads, "We of the Moorish Science Temple of America, like countless other American citizens, know that we must live together here in America." We're not talking about going to Africa. Here in America, in harmony, friendship, and goodwill, whatever our race or creed may be. Do I have to break that down? The Prophet Noble Drew Ali saying that we have to live here. We must live together here in America in harmony, friendship, and goodwill. Now, you might get mad at me. Say, "Oh, man, you want to be friends?" No, I'm only quoting the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I'm only quoting the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. You don't have to like Prophet Noble Drew Ali. You don't have to like his philosophy. I'm only quoting Prophet Noble Drew Ali. We of the Moorish Science Temple of America, like countless other American citizens, that mean Greeks, that mean Germans, that mean Jews, that mean Hebrews, that mean Moors, that mean Japanese, that mean Chinese, like countless other American citizens, know that we must live together in America in harmony, friendship, and goodwill, whatever our race or creed may be. It is only from a purely religious standpoint, it seems at this time, that we differ from a large number of our fellow Americans. Listen to the statements of our fellow Americans. We believe in and foster the Muslim religion. We believe in its principles. Listen to me. This is when those people outside of the Moorish Science Temple of America try to equate us to Eastern standards of what it is to be a Muslim or Muslim. Listen to what our prophets say. We believe in its principles. We believe in the principle of its teaching. In so far as they can be adopted into American life. Do you follow me? The principles of the teaching in so far as they can be adopted into American life. The principles. We feel that the Christian religion is right for those who prefer it. In America, religious freedom is guaranteed all under the Constitution. Listen to this respectful law. This is Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America. This sets the tone as to what is a Moorish American. It goes on to say, we are interested in freeing ourselves and our children from the greatest plight, economic slavery. Is the greatest plight Squatting in the house? Nope. Mortgages? Nope. Economic slavery is the greatest plight. Asking for a delegation of authority? Nope. Economic slavery is the greatest plight. Harassing Europeans, calling them colonists, and trying to get a right to travel? No. We are interested in freeing ourselves and our children from our greatest plight, economic slavery. We believe this can be done by encouraging, patronizing, and establishing our own business enterprises and cultivating our own acres of land. We welcome into the folds men and women of our group of all sections, all trades, occupations, and professions, but this is key, of sound mind and good character. What we going to see today is some people who don't have sound mind, nor do they have good character. And again, we welcome into our folds men and women of our group, those who are descendants from the inhabitants of Africa, Aboriginals. We welcome into our group of all sections, all trades, occupations, and professions of sound mind and good character. We are friends and servants of humanity. We are dedicated to the purpose of elevating the moral, social, and economic status of our people. This is the prophets. This is the prophet's words. Moral, social, and economic status of our people. So the only status correction that we should be focusing on primarily in conjunction with other, but the main primary status correction is moral, social, and economic. We can always do the other stuff, but the prophet said we are dedicated to the purpose of elevating the moral, social, and economic status. This is the status correction we should be really working on. Everything else will fall in place if we correct the moral status, the social status, and the economic status. Everybody want to sell status correction. See if they can sell that. See if they can sell that. It say, we have set about to do this through the wide comprehensive program, embodying the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Now, those are the words of our illustrious prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Now, that set the standard. Now, let's get to the good part. In 2014, this sister here from Florida, they call her a sovereign citizen. She names what they will call an imaginary nation. And she claims diplomatic immunity from what? Traffic laws. You hear this? But now, let's listen to the story. It says, a Florida woman claiming to be Moorish and having diplomatic immunity was arrested last month on traffic charges. Police said 32-year-old Janine McCoon was speeding and talking on the phone when officers stopped her in Orland Park. Officers said the woman claimed her name was Ramasiah S. Rael, but was unable to produce a driver's license and carry insurance information, report Orland Park Patch. But now listen to this. This is the reason why I do shows like this. Officers said that the woman claimed her name was Ramasiah S. Rael. Now watch this. She told the officer that she was talking to her mother on the phone, and police said the license information for Rael showed suspension for insurance violations. However, police said the woman claimed to have no knowledge of the infractions. Officer took the woman into custody, but noticed she was no longer wearing a work name tag clipped to her shirt as she was placed in the squad car. I asked her where they are at. The arresting officer wrote in a report. She indicated she never had anything clipped to her. This information was made me suspicious. Ramsey may not be truthful. Police spotted her work identification in a car showing her name Janine McCoon, to whom the Ford's Focus was registered. But police said McCoon insisted her name was Ramsey and claimed Moorish diplomatic immunity. Watch this now. This is an apparent reference to the teachings by what? The Moorish Science Temple of America. This is the reason why we address this. Because these practices are being associated with the Moorish Science Temple of America. That's it. If it wasn't being associated with the Moorish Science Temple of America, it wouldn't be none of my business. But because I am a faithful member and a leader in the community and represent the Moorish Science Temple of America, hey, I must look into this. It says the apparent reference to the teachings of the Moorish Science Temple of America, whose followers have been implicated in real estate and other fraud schemes. I have never met a person who was a member of the Moorish Science Temple of America ever implemented in real estate or fraud schemes. Never. I've never met one. But because the sovereign citizen, Moorish National, are using the term Moorish, they have lumped us all in a pot with it in this article. But now, and this is according to Sovereign Law Poverty Law Center, who lumps us in a pot. Now, that's an apparent reference to the teachings of the Moorish Science Temple of America, whose follower has been implicated in real estate and other fraud schemes. We know that's a lie. The group attracts Black followers to sovereign citizen movement. We don't do that. We don't do that. An anti-government ideology with foundational ties to white supremacy. Let me stop this for 1 second. Who's ever watching this, y'all need to know that that's not the Moorish Science Temple of America. That's not this. That's not this. These are fly-by-night people who are trying to get away with breaking the law and get caught at breaking the law and think that's a get-out-of-jail-free card. That's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with people who think that claiming Moorish diplomatic immunity or Moorish heritage is a get-out-of-jail-free card. But we're going to see as this show go on that it's not a get-out-of-jail-free card. It don't work like that. And everybody up on it, except for the ones who practice it. But I got something I think about that too. So it says, Moorish science teach that Black Moors was the original inhabitants of the U.S. and are entitled to self-governing nation within a nation status, according to Sovereign Poverty Law Center. We can't let somebody else tell our story, and this is the reason why I'm doing this. It goes on to say, Moorish adherents, like other and loosely organized movement, have filed nuisance lawsuits and claim U.S. state and local laws do not apply to them, citing obscure legal principle and historical treaties as their justification. Police said McCoon eventually admitted Janine was her birth name, and officer found her license had been revoked for drinking and driving. Drinking and driving. You see that? This is the reason she thought Moorish diplomatic immunity would free her. But here we go. Family, that was then. One of the brothers that I come to like, Brother Taj Tariq Bey, is one of the founders of this thought. He is one who's perpetuated this thought to a new generation. So today, it says Taj Tariq Bey, Grand Sheikh and Master Teacher. With all due respect, Taj Tariq Bey, was never a grand sheik, never appointed a grand sheik. He could be somebody's master teacher, but he's not a grand sheik. Never was, never will be, unless he goes through the process as laid out by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. If you don't meet the requirements of becoming a grand sheik, then he's not a grand sheik. And that's not disrespectful. That's just the fact of the matter. Now, but Taj Tariq has been doing this, teaching this for quite some time. For quite some time. But today we have a new generation. This is the new generation. You might can't see it clearly, but this is the new generation of the Sovereign National Moorish Squad. You got Jamal, you got Taj, you got Taraji, that's her name. Miss Ritchie, her name is Pauline Ritchie. You got Shalimar Bey, Mark Ritchie, brothers and sister, and you got Gail. All right? Now, these people besides Taj is the next generation. Is the next generation of sovereign citizen proprietors. They're going to sell this to people. So these are the new leaders of the Moorish sovereign citizen ideal. Mark Ritchie up first. I mean, Mark Ritchie, also known as Shalimar Bey. Listen to this. This is the new leader of the sovereign citizen movement under the brand of Moorish.
Grand Rising Moors, Grand Rising. There is a spirited debate going on as to whether or not Moorish American nationals need a Moorish American consulate on Moorish American soil. It is a great debate. I'm glad it's being talked about, and I want to add a bit more from my perspective to this amazing debate. Anthony Robbins says one of the best ways to direct your focus and your attention is through questions. So I'm going to ask a few questions today. Question number one. Can you name me one court under the control of the United States Corporation that gives us copper-colored people consistent, fair remedy? I'll wait. What's the point of waiting? You're drawing a big fat zero just like I am. There are no courts under the control of the United States Service Corporation that gives us, the Aboriginal indigenous people of North America, consistent, fair remedy. The copper-colored people who have been.
So, there you go. That is Mark Ritchie, known as Shalimar Bey. Now, he is one who is pushing this concept. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something. And I'm serious about this. I truly believe you don't have to, and you don't have to take my word for it. I truly believe that this brother is a plant and an agent. I truly believe it. There is no doubt in my mind. See, listen. When I say plant or agent, I'm not talking about just mad at somebody. Oh, you an agent. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about that this guy who has had White House clearance is a plant to try to cause confusion within the ranks of Moorish thought, within the new generation coming in, so they don't know what Moorish science or the teachers of Prophet Noble Drew Ali look like. This is what I truly believe. Let me tell you something. Let me share something with you. When you look at brothers like me and Cujo, take me and Cujo for example. Y'all remember me and Cujo used to go back and forth? Let me tell you something. Without a doubt or contradiction, I've never seen Cujo as an agent. I don't care what he called me. I've never seen Cujo as an agent. Never. I see Cujo as half crazy sometimes. I see Cujo with no discipline sometimes, but I've never seen him as an agent. I mean, never. And this is the difference between this guy and Cujo. Take Mario L. Bay. Mario L. Bay, he's called me an agent. No matter how crazy and sideways I may think Mario L. Bay talk, I never thought that he was an agent. I thought that he had a twisted concept of what it is to be a Moorish American. I think he still do have, I think he's coming around, but I never once thought he was an agent. You understand what I'm saying? But when I say an agent, I'm talking about, we see, if you study the FBI files of Malcolm X and the FBI files of Elijah Muhammad, and you look at some of the tactics of plants, you will see that this fits it to a T. It fits it to a T. However, it's up to you. If you choose to follow it, then hey, it's up to you. My point is to show that it's not the teachings of the Moorish Science Temple of America. It's not the teachings of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Period, point blank. You know, and if I would debate anybody on it, but I'm going to make it pretty clear tonight that it's not the teachings of the Moorish Science Temple of America. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, I'm going to block my brother Root Words because he's just being total disrespectful. He has no intention of joining or learning the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. So, brother Root Words, I know you can hear me. I just blocked you. We just not going to have that. You can ask a question, or you can even come on the show and debate some of the tactics that you think is worthy of perpetuating. But one thing you're not going to do is disrespect the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Anyway, so we'll move on. The bottom line is that if you choose to follow it, then it's on you. But I'm telling you right now that if you have studied anything as it relates to trying to dismantle an organization or a group or a business that could be successful, this situation fits it to the T. And as I unfold it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. So again, this is Shalimar Bey, also known as Mark Ritchie. And if anybody's seen my older shows, you will remember that he was hand to hand rubbing shoulders with George Bush. You see that he was a reporter. They say he was a reporter, and he was on what's that by the plane, and he was chummy chum with every politician, but he never brought that out until we discovered it, and he still haven't talked about it. Well, this is his sister, Pauline Ritchie. Pauline Ritchie is actually a former criminal, convicted of certain improprieties, if you will. And nothing is wrong with that. Everybody has a past. Nothing wrong with that. But it is something wrong when you try to take. It's something wrong when you try to take the prophet's teaching and misappropriate them. And to misappropriate them in the way that you will see right here, and I'm going to let this one play out. To misappropriate them in the way you see right here is so damaging for the Moorish ideal as it relates to the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. If anyone follow it, they're asking for trouble. And you're going to see that one have followed it and asked for trouble, and they got what they asked for this week. Let's go.
I'm White Bay. I'm here with Judge Light, Tajiri, Bay, and we'll be going over the weaponized peace statement of personal jurisdiction for all Moorish American nationals.
Yes, we're very excited about it. I am Judge Light Tajiri Bay with the Moorish National Republic Federal Government and the Moorish American Consulate. And we are going to be spreading this all over our land. All Moors are to learn the statement that we're going to be using in this demonstration. And
now watch this, family. Watch how this sister is going to try to persuade Moorish Americans to follow this. Check it out.
This is the only thing that we should be saying to the colonizers when we are forced into those venues. If we're not forced into those venues, we don't go. We let our paperwork speak for us. And we're going to go over the statement and show you exactly how to use it when you're in those venues. This statement is good for when you're being pulled over. You can put this statement on a 3.5 by 5 index card. You don't ever have to speak. You just take the index card and stick it up to your window. Do not let your window down when policy enforcers stop you. You just put that up to the window and let that be all that is said. Don't answer any questions. Don't talk to them. Put that statement up in your window so that they can read it, and they are not to violate that, because we are indeed a standing government on this land. Also, this statement is good for foreclosures and evictions and all of that. If they cannot get past personam jurisdiction, they can't do anything else, okay? This strategy is a military strategy. However, of course,
y'all see this? This is how you know they have never attended an official Moorish Science Temple of America. This is a military strategy. Listen to this military strategy. Watch how crazy this is.
Of course, you know, we're peaceful people, but it's a military strategy in that I used to be in the Air Force many years ago. And they always taught us that when you are captured, that you are to give your name, rank, and serial number repeatedly, no matter what question they ask you. So that's going to be our strategy, except we don't have names, we don't have ranks, and we don't have serial numbers or social security numbers. So we're going to give our appellation, a command, and then another command, okay? And here's the statement. And whenever we, even with evictions, when they are threatening to do anything that is unlawful, such as an eviction, it's unlawful on our own land. We put this statement up on our doorposts, okay? And it's always going to be on Moorish letterhead. This is available, signed by a Moorish American judge. And then we
know that that is bogus. There is no such thing as a Moorish American judge unless you have qualified yourself like every other judge. You can't wake up one day and call yourself a judge and print something out of the newspaper.
We notify all parties involved, so this statement will go.
I mean, print and print a paper from off your computer. My bad.
To those doing business as sheriffs, policy enforcers, mayors, those doing business as governors, those doing business as secretaries of state, all of those people or persons rather, and any other corporations, including utility corporations and the like. This goes to them, and you let them know that you are a Moorish American national and that they do.
And see, for somebody say that we are dogging women, stop that, brother. Stop that, because my son is a Moorish American. I got a newborn son that's a Moorish American. So we're going to separate the fact from the fiction so we know who's who. And that's just what it is, no matter who push it. Only the reason that the sister is on the front of the screen is because she is exemplifying the sovereign citizen ideal right now. And you'll see in a second.
Not have jurisdiction on your land, and we are the heirs to all here. So we're going to demonstrate how to use it. She's going to play the colonizing judge in all capital letters, and I'll be the Moorish American National. And so take note of how we use the statement. And again, we're going to use it military style, which is broken record technique. It's called repeat, repeat, repeat until they get it. Okay? So here goes.
Do we have Light Richie in the courtroom? Do we have Pauline Richie in the courtroom? Pauline Richie, would you please stand up? Okay, the court stenographer. Can you tell me who is Pauline here? Bella? Oh, okay. Do we have Pauline Richard? Light?
I am Light to Jury Bay, in propria persona sui juris, in proprio solo, and in proprio heredis at all times.
Can we get your name correctly?
And so what you're looking at, family, let me reiterate, what you're looking at is a training video on how to train unsuspecting Moorish nationals that is interested in the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, how to resist the authorities after you got your own self hemmed up most of the times. Here we go.
I am the descendant of the great pharaohs of Tibet and of the Moabites and Canaanites. I am Light to Jury Bay, in proprio persona sui juris, in proprio solo, in proprio heredis at all times. I am the descendant of the great pharaohs of Tibet and of the Moabites and Canaanites. I am an Aboriginal, Indigenous, Moorish American National, and I am exercising all of my rights at the...
Now listen, this is what you are supposed to teach your children. This is what you are supposed to teach your brothers and sisters. And you know how this is going to turn out. It ain't gonna turn out like this little role play right here. But the point of me expressing this is to show you that this is not the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. This is my point.
And at all points in time, you are commanded to state your name and nationality on the record for the record immediately without further comment.
Step up to the pulpit.
Immediately without further comment. I am the law and I am the government, and you do not have jurisdiction over me. I command you to set me free immediately, return my property immediately, cease and desist all actions and contact, take your leave and never return. This is your due process of notice of intent to lien you.
To the judge, and we can have a conversation.
This is that type of behavior that'll get you in an insane asylum.
And we never go up past that bar. We can stand right up in our place back
Come
here.
Come up to the bar, right?
We don't cross the bar.
Okay.
I am Light to Jury Bay, in proprio persona sui juris, in proprio solo, and in proprio heredis at all times. I am the descendant of the great pharaohs of Tibet and of the Moabites and Canaanites. I am an Aboriginal, Indigenous, Moorish American National, and I am exercising all of my rights at this time and at all points in time. You are commanded to state your name and nationality on the record for the record immediately without further comment. Without further comment. Without further comment. I am the law. I am the government. And you do not have jurisdiction over me. I command you to set me free immediately, return my property immediately, cease and desist all actions and contacts, take your leave, and never return. I am Light to Jury Bay, in proprio persona sui juris, in proprio solo, and in proprio heredis at all times. I am the descendant of the great pharaohs of Kemet and of the Moabites and Canaanites. I am an Aboriginal, Indigenous, Moorish American National, and I am exercising all of my rights at this time and at all points in time.
Okay, I heard you.
You are commanded to state your name and your nationality on the record.
Okay, let me stop for a minute because we got some questions coming up. Now, listen, if you want, let me answer these questions for you. What do we do in these type of situations? In these type of situations, the prophet gives us the example. If anybody in the chat know, who was the prophet's lawyer name? Do anybody know? Can anybody tell me who was Prophet Noble Drew Ali? What was Prophet Noble Drew Ali lawyer's name? Anybody know? Because before we start saying we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that, one thing we should know is, should we have a lawyer? Did Moors have lawyers? Who is Prophet Noble Drew Ali's lawyer name? Anybody know? Huh? There you go, Brother Ern Payne L. All right? Brother Ern Payne L. So how do you deal with this as a Moorish American? The same way the prophet did deal with it. You have a lawyer. Okay, I got another question for Moors that have been paying attention to the show. Who was Crumbly Bay lawyer? Matter of fact, I'm going to tell you, Crumbly Bay was accused of something in Philadelphia, and he had a lawyer on retainer. I forget his name, so I ain't going to hold everybody else to it. So what is the Moorish American way? The Moorish American way is you go to the system with one of your own with the qualification to deal with the charges and the crimes that you're accused of. That's the Moorish American way. The Moorish American way is not this. The Moorish American way is not this. You know, I'm going to find that ad about Crumbly Bay before the show is over, and I'm going to share it with you. But that's not the Moorish American way. You know what I mean? I don't care what nobody say. It's not the Moorish American way, and we're going to prove it. You know, I just told you, everybody in the chat just said that that the brother Prophet Noble Drew Ali had an attorney. I'm looking right now for the article that I have on file about our brother Crumbly Bay out of Pittsburgh, if I'm not mistaken. He was out of Pittsburgh, and he was charged with something, and he had a lawyer on retainer. You know what I mean? Because he already knew what was coming. He already knew. I'm looking for it right now, but if I don't find it right now, I'm gonna just go to the next slide and I'll look for it as we go on. But yeah, he had a lawyer on retainer. And so how do you deal with the situation? You get a lawyer. You get a lawyer. Period. I mean, that's it. You get a lawyer. So let's go to the next. So as we see that this is not how we of the Moorish Science Temple of America, regardless of what body, it doesn't matter. This is not how we conduct ourselves. You know what I mean?
Without further comment. Okay. I am the law, and I am the government, and you do not have jurisdiction over me. I command you to set me free immediately, return my property immediately, cease and desist all actions and contact, take your leave and never return. Take your leave and never return. Take your leave and never return.
We just ask
I am life to jury bay. Improprio persona secura, improprio solo, and improprio horrendus at all times. I am the descendant of the great pharaohs of Kemet and of the Moabites and Canaanites. I am an aboriginal, indigenous, Moorish American national, and I am exercising all of my rights at this time and at all times. You are commanded to state your name and nationality on the record, for the record, immediately without further comments. You are commanded to state your name and your nationality on the record, for the record, immediately without further comments. I am the law, and I am the government, and you do not have jurisdiction over me.
What do you mean by you, the government?
I command you to set me free immediately, return my property immediately, cease and desist all actions and contact, take your leave and never return.
Please Thank you for coming in today.
I am like to
All right.
jubilate, in proprio persona sui juris, in proprio solo, and in proprio horedis at all times.
All right.
I am
This is-
descendant of the great
we're gonna
pharaohs of
take a-
Kemet
we're gonna
and of
take
the
a
Moorites
5
and
minutes.
Canaanites. I
break.
am
Okay.
an Aboriginal
Until we get
Indigenous
back.
Moorish American National.
Like,
And I
See, y'all hear this? This is what they're trying to teach those who don't know no better. You know what I mean? This is what they're trying to teach those that don't know no better. And it ain't gonna never turn out good. It's never gonna turn out good. You know, we gotta wake our brothers and sisters up so they don't get caught up into this madness. And so that is the purpose of this show. You can actually call me what you want, but I am going to do what it takes to wake our people up, because this is pure madness. This is pure madness. But now I found the article. Let me get the article ready for you. Let me load the article up for you where I talk about our brother Crumley Bay, because this further shows what it's supposed to look like when you find yourself in a situation. You know what I mean? When you find yourself in a situation, I'm going to show you what it's supposed to look like. Give me 1 second, and I'm going to bring it on up. I'm going to show you what it's supposed to look like. Bam. Okay, here we go. I'm going to show you what it's supposed to look like. And I'm doing this on the fly, so give me a second. I got a lot running on the computer, but I'm doing it on the fly. Boom. Here we go. Let me drop it in here. Bam. I can drop it in here. Let me spin him around. Can I spin him around? Where can I spin him? Oh, there it is. Let me spin him around real quick. All right. So, family. Now, you know I don't be playing. I come with facts. Y'all know I don't be playing. Here we go. I don't be playing. I come with facts. And I think this is the ad, but I come with facts. And this is why they can't handle me. Because I ain't making this stuff up as I go along. I look at the prophet and I look at the example. So here's the paper right here. From the Prophet Noble Drew Ali's paper. And in this article right here, you will read the following. You know what I mean? You will read the following. T. Crumley Bay, Pittsburgh, disciple of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali and Grand Governor of the Moorish Temple of Science, 1709 Arsena Street, who got in the wrong with the police, first promising his Moorish congregation all wives you want for $10. This is what he was accused of. He was accused of offering up wives for $10. Now, people say, oh, they were selling Moorish women. Not so fast. He didn't go in there with these crazy tactics. Listen to what happened. Second, for selling potions for what ails you. And third, on charges made by his wife against him and one of the female parishioners. Wound up his legal affrays yesterday in criminal court. A vindication is the way the Bay expressed what happened in court. He had been arraigned for trial on his wife charges, along with Anna Mae Johnson, his co-defendant, his attorney, Albert Martin, whom he had retained on a yearly contract to fight all legal battles incident to operation of his congregation, was ready with defense. You see that? Now, you might don't like the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and you might don't like how we move, but we move like the Prophet. Again, I'm going to read one. Matter of fact, let me see if I can stretch it so you can really see it. Can y'all see this? I want to make sure that you see. Matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I want you to really see this. I don't want you to say Brother Ta'aka Bay making up nothing. I want you to really see this. Let me see if I can break this down. Break it. How low can you go? Can you get down low? Let's see if we can get down low. Let's see if I can make it do what it do. How low can you go? Let's see if we can break it down. Because I want you to really see this. That we're going to break it down. How low can you go? Let's get down low. I'm going to break it down for you because we're going to read the rest of it. That's right. There we go. Here we go. I'm going to break it down for you. There you go. I want y'all to see it. Now see this? Here we go. It says right here, with Anna Mae, his co-defendant, his attorney, Albert Martin. Albert Martin Bay? No. Albert Martin L? No. Albert. Albert. His name was Albert. Like Bert and Ernie. Albert Martin, who he had retained on a yearly contract to fight all legal battles incident to the operation of his congregation. In other words, he knew that they were coming. He knew that they were coming. And when you begin to uplift fallen humanity, the naysayers and those who want to throw you under the bus are on the way. Now, it said District Attorney Samuel H. Gardner was ready with prosecution, but no witness showed up, and the wife, Miss Neen Crumley of Bliffdale, PA, apparently had vanished with her 6 children. She got low. The case was thrown out on a motion of District Attorney, and the Bay was free to go back to his congregation. His legal tilts for the time being was over. When arraigned last June before Magistrate A.D. Brandon and Morals Court, the Bay vehemently denied his wife charge. Did he say they don't have jurisdiction? No. He vehemently denied his wife charge. Did he ask for a delegation of authority? No. He vehemently denied his wife charge. He said, it is contrary to the principles of my faith to be unfaithful to my wife. He said, Miss Brands, something, something. That's how we handle that. So if you're watching this and you wonder, well, how Moorish Americans, this is how Moorish Americans deal with things, not how Moorish National deal with things. So family, what I need to point out is there's a difference between a Moorish American and a Moorish National. Moorish American and Moorish Nationals deal with things 2 different ways. The Moorish National is identity theft or stealing our identity before our face. To be a Moorish American, you must study the Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. To be a Moorish American, you must live the highest principles known to man. To be a Moorish American, you must be a law-abiding citizen. For the purpose of the Moorish Science Temple of America is to make you a better citizen. That's the purpose. The purpose is not to get you to work outside of the construct of this government. The purpose of the Moorish Science Temple of America is to put you back into the constitutional fold of the government. That's the purpose. So anybody that works outside of the construct of the governmental fold, they don't have the right to even call themselves Moorish Americans. They don't even have the right to say they follow the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. For what they are practicing is total contrary. It's in contradiction of what the Prophet Noble Drew Ali teaches. So let's move on. I like y'all with me. Everybody, listen, can we get a thumbs up, family? If y'all enjoying this, man, sisters, brothers, give me a thumbs up, man. You know, this is how the video gets shared, you know, and people get to see that there is a difference between a Moorish sovereign citizen and a true Moorish American. I have children, you know, I have sons, I have, you got daughters. You know what I mean? I got daughters in my house. You know what I mean? We got things to do around here as it relates to trying to separate what's real and what's not. This is what this is about. This is not about Taraji Bey. This is not about Shalimar Bey. For y'all can follow that all you want. But I want the public to know, even if you don't care, I want the public to know that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali has a distinctive teaching from what you see in the media that is perpetrated by the Moorish sovereign citizens known as Moorish Nationals. It's totally different. Everything that they demonstrate is in conflict with the teachings of our prophet Noble Drew Ali. Everything that they demonstrate. And as I go on with the show for the next 30 minutes, you will see how extreme that they are in conflict. So some said, so what are you supposed to do if no temple's around to join the MSTFA? Brother Akhenaten, what can you do, Brother Akhenaten Salam Bey? Brother, we have an online temple called the Virtual Moorish Science Temple of America. And the purpose of the Moorish Science Temple of America virtually is to and get people in order and in tune with the teachings of the prophet so they can put a temple in their neighborhood, so they can put a temple in their community, a progressive temple, a getting money temple, a getting money temple, a getting political temple, a getting political temple, a building temple, talking about schools, everything. This no, let me put it in there. You can. But we're looking for workers. So if you ain't ready to build it, then this is not for you. If you ain't ready to build, if you're not ready to build, then this is not for you. Noble temples is not for you. But if you're ready to build with the prophet demonstrated, then noble temples are for you. We at the noble temples, we build. We are on the brink of building what the prophet Noble Drew Ali laid out. We're done with the talking. The same way, if you look in these videos, if you look at this presentation, what I'm doing is I'm not giving you my opinion. I'm giving you a newspaper article. And in this article, you're seeing what the prophet demonstrated. So if we see that the prophet did it, that's what we must do. If we see how the prophet became $1 million corporation in approximately 4 years, why can't we be $1 million corporation in approximately 4 years? You know what I mean? If we see that the prophet Noble Drew Ali had political influence and pretty much ran the south side of Chicago and the west side of Chicago and Detroit and wherever he put a temple, why shouldn't we? Why should we be going into a building talking about Prophet Noble Drew Ali walking out to the same conditions? Broke, beat up home, beat up car, beat up spiritually, beat up politically. Nah, that ain't what we're about. So if you are interested in building, then send an email out. But if you want to just build, as you know how we get slick nowadays, we be like, oh man, I'm just trying to build. But you're really talking, but you just want to have a conversation. And that's not to my brother Salam, that's to Solomon, that's to anybody. If you just want to have a conversation, that ain't us. But I'm going to tell you, in our study groups, and anybody that's a part of the Noble Temples know that this is just a scratch of the surface of the lessons in which we study, examine, so we can apply and execute. You see, this is just the lessons that I put on YouTube. But the lessons that we actually study so we can execute is totally different than this. It's more clear. I'm just trying to make it clear in this next hour. You know what I mean? In this next 20 minutes. So other unsuspecting people who trying to make their conditional, get into a place where their conditions can be better, don't fall into this trap. So let's go to the next slide real quick. The next slide. As you know, as I rewind, I can share with you that there was a time when Taj was the head of this ideal. This brother here was making some steam. He was really picking up the rear. as it relates to the sovereign citizen ideal. He got into the concept of the consular court, which is another sovereign citizen ideal. Everything that I'm talking about is those who are with the consular court persuasion. And this is Jamal. As you can see, it says Jamal stepping down as judge for consular court. The reason he gave was priceless and was something I stated last year. Listen to the words coming out of his mouth. Now, this comes from a video that he put up, which I don't even want to put it up. The brother stepped down because it was nothing but confusion. It was nothing but confusion, in short. And maybe Jamal is sincere about the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and he see the kink in the armor of this fictitious. He made a statement and said about being law-abiding citizens or something, if I'm not mistaken. I don't want to paraphrase it and butcher it, but it seems as if Jamal can start to see through the game. So he left them alone. Now, the sovereign citizen, they love to incorporate a lot of the weird practices that started on RB Bay, and one of them is right to travel. It started on RB Bay by the way of white supremacists. The white supremacist says that he doesn't have to get a tag for, he doesn't have to register his car, for he is free and he is not a part of this corporation. And so the white supremacists would make tags and paper tags, and these Moorish sovereign citizens adopted the practices. It's not our practice. They adopted it. But they don't want to ride no tags. They make their own tags. They go online and they make their own tags. And they think they can't be held accountable. But as the show go on, you'll see that they will be held accountable. Now, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali teaches us that this organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Now, I'm not saying that license plates is a governmental law nor constitutional law. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we ain't here to cause no confusion. And this is nothing but confusion. If you know that you need insurance just in case you hit somebody's car, you want to get it fixed for them. You're not walking around, the average person is not walking around with 5 or 6 stacks in their pocket and they hit somebody's car and they got it to just throw it on the table and say, here you go, fix your car. No, the average person is not doing that. You know what I mean? Now, that's what insurance is for. But when you make your own tags and you don't register your car, what you're doing is you are circumventing the process of repairing somebody's vehicle or even paying for somebody's hospital or funeral bill if life is lost. For the average person is not walking around with 10 racks. You and I know that. So that's what insurance is for. But when you make your own tags, that means you haven't registered your vehicle. That means there is no checks and balances for insurance. Therefore, you are endangering others. And you can murder somebody and you can't even compensate for the funeral prices, the hospital bill, or even the car to be repaired. That's just irresponsible. And so we look at the United States of Illinois first required its residents to register their motor vehicles in 1907. Registered provided their own license plate for display until 1911, when the state began to issue plates. Plates were issued annually until 1978. Now, check this out. The reason why I put that out, because as we go along with developing our research, we will dig up the Prophet Noble Drew Ali's registration. Absolutely. Just like everything else has came out, we will dig that up too. And I'm going to Chicago to do some of this research. And if some are already in Chicago and you're listening to this show, go do the research, because cars was registered. And it was registered by the Secretary of State. So this should be easy to find. Now, how do we know that the prophet moved in such a way that it only makes sense not to cause confusion? Because we look right here. It says what I got highlighted in this Moorish God article. The prophet, in securing a permit for the parade, also secured a squad of European police to accompany his car in the parade. So if he had European police to accompany his car in the parade, one, what does that mean? He ain't got no beef with these Europeans. Europeans are going to be Europeans. Hey, we doing our thing, they doing their thing. That's what they do. Hey, number two, they accompany his car in the parade. Which parade is this? This was the parade after the convention. So Europeans was in the parade too? Absolutely. See, this is a different Moorish science that I paint a picture that you're not used to. See, this Moorish science that I paint a picture is the Moorish science that's functional in any society. It's functional and it's equal in any society. Any society. It doesn't matter. We don't let the perception of someone dealing in their devilish nature or in their lower nature define how we respond. Let me say it again. We of the Moorish Science Temple of America do not allow someone who is operating in their lower nature define how we respond. We still respond in the most upright manner. We respond in a dignified manner. For we are the civilizers. So therefore we shouldn't be acting uncivilized. This is what Prophet Noble talking about. We need to learn to love us today. It's not talking about being a pushover because you put your hands on me or you talk too slick. I ain't there yet. And many Moors during the time of the Prophet wasn't there yet. As you read in the history that they went bang, bang with the police in Detroit. They went bang, bang with the police in Chicago, in cities around the country. But that is not what the teachings are about. The teachings are about being upright, independent, and fearless. So if you violate love, truth, peace, and freedom, justice must take its course, of course. But we are for peace, not destruction. And in the words of Dr. Khalid Muhammad, I'm for peace if possible, violence if necessary. And I don't want to put violence on your heart and mind, but I'm just telling you that we are always to practice peace. We are always to practice the most liberal way to get through and navigate through a hostile situation. But the prophets say that, hey, when they come at you, turn around and flee. And if you're unable to flee, you turn around and drop the world on them. But that's a whole nother story. But what I'm talking about, as we look at the Moorish Sovereign National, they are instigating issues for drama. And as this go on, you will see that they are instigating issues for drama. So the right to travel, that ain't our thing. That ain't our thing. Now, here we go. When people start talking about this crazy stuff as it relates to us being Moorish Americans and trying to buck the system, let me read this to you. Our prophet teaches us this. Since the work of the Moorish Science Temple of America was largely religious, since the work of the Moorish Science Temple of America has been largely religious, the organization has legally changed to a religious corporation. And an affidavit to this effect has been properly filed in the county and Cook County Recorder's Office of Illinois. But that ain't what I want you to see. What I need you to see is when you drop down, it said, inspired by the lofty teachings of the Quran. We have it as the revealed word of God Allah. Again, it says we should foster the principles. Foster the dress code, foster the principles. Foster the physical appearances, foster the principles. Foster the prayer, foster the principles of its teachings among our members. Do y'all know what principle is? This is why our expression of Islam don't look like the Arab expression of Islam, because we foster the principles and not the cultural overtones. There's a difference. This is why ours look different. Egypt looks different. Chinese Muslims look different than the Arab expression. But that's a whole nother story. It says we should foster the principle of his teachers among our members. This is our religious privilege as American citizens. All right? As American citizens, under the laws, and I really want y'all to see this. This is the Prophet Noble Ali talking. It's not me. Under the laws of one of the greatest legal documents of all time, the American Constitution. The Prophet says the American Constitution is one of the greatest legal documents of all time. And if you were in Sunday school today with the Noble Temples, it echoed the same thing out of the mouth of Marcus Garvey. The same thing Marcus Garvey said was similar to this. So anybody that's bucking, know that this ain't Moorish science. Moorish science, we look at this great document and we enforce this great document in our defense. Now, let's be clear. The Moorish National, the Moorish Divine and National Movement is the Moorish Science Temple of America. Make no mistake about it. What you're looking at right here is two different flyers. These two different flyers is one is from the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, and one is from the Moorish Science Temple of America. But at the top, you will see the Moorish Holy and Divine Movement on the left. And as it unfolded, you will see the Moorish Divine and National Movement. All right? On the right. Why does that make sense? Because if you want to go to the Moorish Holy and Divine National Movement, look underneath the bottom of the page. You will have to go to 3603 Indiana Avenue. Membership is free. It tells you up top here, membership is free. Okay? But if you want to go to the Moorish Divine and National Movement, you're going to have to go to 3718 Paris Avenue. And again, membership is free. What took place at this time? What took place is that the Moorish Holy Temple of Science was changed to the Moorish Science Temple of America, and the address changed. That's it. But the Moorish Divine National Movement and the Moorish Science Temple of America are interchangeable with one another. I mean, they're interchangeable. You can't go to the Moorish Science Temple of America and not be a part of the Moorish Divine and National Movement. Nor can you be a part of the Moorish National Divine Movement and not be a member of the Moorish Science Temple of America. So when the police lock them up, they need to ask them what temple you belong to. Who is your Grand Sheikh?
Who is your grand sheik? Oh, brother say he want to know how to acquire land. Stick around, brother. I got you in a minute. Now, this sister here has a bunch of videos online right now, right? This is Gail Bay. All right? It says, listen to this. She's echoing Pauline Ritchie Bay, or Pauline Ritchie. Listen to this. That script is when you are being detained. Off the top, they are expecting to be detained. All right? It says, repeat this over and over without answering any questions. Command that you answer questions, that they answer your question. What is your status? Who gave you permission to be in Morocco? This is what you're supposed to ask the police. Who gave you permission to be in Morocco? Know that we're in the United States of America, but you're going to ask the police who gave you permission to be in Morocco. See, this is going to put you in the crazy house. The Moroccans, we the people, give you delegation of authority. State your jurisdiction for the record and provide scripted proof to submit into evidence. This is what you're going to tell the police. Family, this is what she's going to tell the police. Stick around. Watch this. Watch this. Never allow them to pass 1 and 2. Never allow them to pass question 1 and 2. It says, never allow them to pass 1 and 2. This is a notice of intent to lien for not only failing to state your status and jurisdiction, but not acknowledging the Treaty of Peace and Friendship between Morocco and the United States of America. This is going to get you into an insane asylum. Violating the Constitution for the United States of America by establishing corporations disguised as courts, which you have no authority in Morocco. Calling this Morocco. To do specifically trafficking Moorish American nationals and code, statute, and ordinances and regulations, which are not laws any national or subject of Morocco is bound to acknowledge or follow. This is what she said now. Pay close attention because we're about to show where this go at. You are additionally violating the Declaration of Independence of 1776, where your founding fathers, Alexander Hamilton, John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, John Jay, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, and George Washington pledged there, and you being their heirs to their lives, liberty, property, and honor to the supreme judiciary of the Moroccan Empire. Y'all hear this? That was the purpose of the American banner of amity and commerce, that you fly here, but presume to me at least to know what stands for a while, violating the agreement and covenant with the Constitution of the United States of America. Y'all hear this? Y'all see this? I command those to be removed wherever they fly in Morocco. Man, you about to get locked up for a speeding ticket and you talking about remove fly. These people crazy. Anyway, I command everyone in this room as a part of this corporation to state their names for my record, as they will be leaning 100,000 each lawful. Now the question is, what court are you going to take them to? What money, this 100,000 of gold and silver coin that they're going to deliver to you, and where? Right? Now listen to this. This is so much fantasy that I can't understand why people fall for this. I mean, and gold and silver coin, Moorish American National, that is legally obtained in trafficking an illegal organization disguising itself as speaking for any government while in this jurisdiction. Now pay attention, family. The brother Lalo asks, how do we acquire land? Okay, here we go. We take an example from the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. When any said temple desires to purchase property, of course, if the temple purchased property, every human being or member of the Moorish Science Temple of America should be required to purchase property. All right? I want everybody to type this in. How do Moorish Americans acquire property? What is the main way? When any said temple desires to purchase property, they must notify the grand body or the prophet, and it must be purchased under the name of the Moorish Science Temple of America or Noble Drew Ali. You see? You purchase property. Now, is that just a mandate by the prophet that he didn't follow himself? Nah. For this is an article. Matter of fact, this is a flyer that I love to show, where under here it says, members of the Moorish Science Temple of America celebrating purchase of first temple grounds. Y'all see that? You purchase it. That's how you acquire property. You purchase it. You purchase it. That's what the prophet did. You purchase it. I mean, you purchase it. There you go. But now, for those who want to circumvent the system, this is what happens.
Police have arrested 2 members of an anti-government group at a house in Upper Darby. Members of this group believe that they live beyond the authority of the state and federal governments. Action News reporter Dan Quayer is live at 36 North Harvard Avenue in Upper Darby. Dan, what are the details on this?
Well, Jim, the 2 members of the purported sovereign group have been arrested and charged with risking a catastrophe. Police say they summoned their supporters from across the region to come out and prevent sheriff's deputies from evicting them. Authorities, trying to avoid another MOVE organization type incident, decided to wait it out until things cool down.
This group is totally anti-government in any way, shape, or form.
Arrested and charged in connection with the case are 41-year-old Decory Pitts and 43-year-old Sharon Gale.
There she go. Y'all remember this? Let me remember this. She's right here. She's this one right here on the end. You see? And she might be sincere. But I tell you what, Mark Ritchie and his sister, they are very questionable. They are very questionable. They are plants. There's no doubt in my mind, I wouldn't trust them as far as I can see them. But they are plants. So, there you go.
Well, Jim, the 2
News reporter Dan Quayer is live at 36 North Harvard Avenue in Upper Darby. Dan, what are the details on this?
Well, Jim, the 2 members of the purported sovereign group have been arrested and charged with risking a catastrophe. Police say they summoned their supporters from across the region to come out and prevent sheriff's deputies from evicting them. Authorities, trying to avoid another MOVE organization type incident, decided to wait it out until things cool down.
This group is totally anti-government in any way, shape, or form.
Arrested and charged in connection with the case are 41-year-old Decory Pitts and 43-year-old Sharon Gale, also known as Sharon Tracy Gale Bay. They purport to be leaders of the Moorish sovereigns, called Moors, who preached a radical ideology.
They're very violent. They're anti-government. They don't believe in anything that the government has to.
You see how they control the media? They control the media. And so now they get to dictate what vibration goes out with the term Moorish. This is the reason why I'm doing this show.
Authorities say when they defaulted on their mortgage, the sheriff's office issued an eviction notice. Authorities say that's when the 2 used social.
And most likely they defaulted on their mortgage because she felt as though that she didn't have to pay the mortgage because it's her land. She feel as though she's in Morocco and it's her land. It don't work like that. You signed a contract for that mortgage for number 1. Let's go.
Media to urge their supporters from across the tri-state area to come out and prevent deputies from entering the house. 40 to 50 people showed up. Superintendent Mike Chitwood had visions of what happened with the MOVE organization in Philadelphia back in the 80s. He did not want a repeat of that and urged law officers to wait.
I was very concerned. I was concerned about the safety for everybody, the neighborhood, the officers.
They waited for 2 months until only the 2 suspects and their 3 children.
Now listen. 2 months ago, they were bragging because the sheriff left, and they was on Facebook making videos that this is the embassy, this is the embassy, this is the embassy. But come on now, you really thought, and they was claiming a win. They were claiming a win, and they probably obtained quite a few more followers when the sheriff walked away. But now look what happened 2 months later.
We're in the home. They raided the place without incident at the crack of dawn Monday. Chetwood says you wouldn't believe what the woman told SWAT officers.
You're under arrest and I'm making a citizen's arrest.
She told them that you're under arrest. I'm making a citizen arrest. Watch this.
She said what?
She said, I'm making a citizen's arrest, so you're all under arrest. So needless to say, she got locked up. We didn't get locked up.
Inside the home, they found a pistol-grip 12-gauge shotgun. They also found a generator hooked up to a slew of car batteries that were daisy-chained together, hooked up to a heater on a propane tank. This apparently to generate heat and electricity. A hookup, Chetwood says, could have blown the neighborhood sky high.
You see this? This is what the children is up against when we follow this ideology. You know what I mean? Look at that for a minute. This is what we gonna put our children into.
Says, could have blown that were daisy chained together.
Look at this.
Up to a heat.
Look at this. This is what you subject your children to when you follow this sort of ideology. Look at this. Look at this. This is not normal. Moorish Americans don't do this. Moorish Americans don't live like this. We don't put our children in harm's way like this. This is not what we do. The founders of civilization don't live like this. This has nothing to do with Moorish. Nothing.
They also found a generator hooked up to a slew of car batteries.
Look at this.
That were daisy chained together, hooked up to a heater on a propane tank. This apparently to generate heat and electricity. A hookup, Chetwood says, could have blown the neighborhood sky high. Neighbors' reaction?
How do you feel now that you're hearing it?
Oh, I'm not happy. Definitely not.
Now, look how the Europeans control the narrative, and now they spread this to any and everybody that this is Moorish Americans. You see? Now they have the ability to spread this to everybody who they come in contact with the media backing them to say that this is Moorish American. This is not Moorish American practices, nor is it the Moorish Science Temple of America practices.
Happy. Did they seem like nice people to you or no?
I'm not sure. We never have any conversation with them.
They even went to a Sikh. They even went to a Sikh. Listen to the Sikh.
Only except when you are going hello, hello, that's it.
Now, both have been charged with risking a catastrophe, recklessly endangering another person, and endangering the welfare of children. The children have now been placed with other relatives. The 2 people charged have a preliminary hearing set for April the 3rd.
So they locked up now until April the 3rd, and they have a preliminary hearing, and their children, here we go.
We're live here in Upper Darby. I'm Dan Poyer, Channel 6, Action News. Jim?
So this is not how Moorish Americans move. This is not how we move, family. Moorish Americans are not a part of this madness. And here she go right here, where on YouTube, she's always teaching this rhetoric over and over again. And she gets at least a couple thousand views teaching this rhetoric. She teaches this rhetoric, and believe it or not, a lot of people believe it. A lot of people believe it. It has nothing to do with the Moorish. This sister has never been a member of the Moorish Science Temple of America and claiming to follow Prophet Noble Drew Ali. This is insane. And so, one thing I wanted to share is that they are both being held on $250,000 cash bail. Now, where is this gold and silver? If you know that you can put a lien on somebody for $100,000 in gold and silver, somebody must told you that. Where is those that told you that? And where is they $100,000 of gold and silver to get you out? Where is the as Akhenaten and Salam Bey say, where is the Moorish consulate to come and get you out? Where is this consulate court? Where is your authority? You asking them where their delegation of authority, they just showed you. Now, where is your authority? You know what they're going to say? Oh, we were kidnapped. No, you broke the law. Then you go call, oh, Tahaka a sellout. Oh, Tahaka there. No. Only thing I'm saying is this is not the teachers of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. This is not the teacher. Like you say that you are going to put a lien for 100,000 in gold and silver coins. So whoever told you that, they had to show you their $100,000 in gold and silver coins. Why aren't they getting you out? Because it's bogus. And this sister is most likely sincere in feeding into this nonsense. In other words, brainwash, absolutely. Where is it? It says, the release identifies Gales as a member of Moorish Sovereigns, a sovereign citizen group affiliated by the Sovereign Poverty Law Association, Law Center, as a government anti-law enforcement through the Southern Poverty Law Center, which is a racist group anyway, that really goes after anybody with their own objective, but they just giving them more ammunition. It says more sovereign citizens have been affiliated with Moorish Science Temple of America. That organization has condemned sovereign citizen practices. Now, the Sovereign Poverty Law Center always make the connection on their report with Moorish Sovereign with the Moorish Science Temple of America. See, the trick is to link them together in word, even though they say the organization condemned them. But when you say them in the same sentence, you are making a mental connection for those who don't have the mental capacity to separate the two. And so that becomes a form of propaganda also by the Southern Poverty Law Center, although don't even mention the Moorish Science Temple of America. No need to. We get it. It says, according to a release from Delaware County Sheriff Jerry L. Sanders, Gail defaulted on her home loan, and the property was sold back at a sheriff's sale in September 2017. We are in 2019. At that time, Gail and Pitts became unlawful occupants, according to the release. The bank started an initial eviction process in January 2018, but that was stayed after the investment company paid off the bank loan, according to the release. The investment company started its own eviction process in December 2018, and the eviction was due to take place in late January. Now listen, after Gail and Pitts were denied an emergency stay, they went to ask, can we get a stay? Gail allegedly used social media to rally a support from about 30 other Moorish sovereigns who came to the house on a scheduled eviction day to thwart deputies from entering the premises. And as you hear, that they walked away, gave them some time to breathe, and came back to do what they had to do. And again, family, I bring you to where we started at. The Moorish Science Temple of America, like countless other American citizens, know that we must live together here in America in harmony, friendship, and goodwill. whatever our race and creed may be. So, family, there is a basic difference. A basic difference. A basic. Moorish National and the Moorish American are two different things. But the basic difference is the Moorish National never goes to a Moorish Science Temple of America. The Moorish National never studied the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. The Moorish National always trying to circumvent the system and get a shortcut to success or freedom. The Moorish American, we are a part of this system designed by our people, adopted by Europeans. I'm going to say it again. Y'all might don't like me saying this, but I'm going to say it anyway. This system, republic form of government, was divine, this system, republic form of government, was designed by our people and adopted by Europeans. That's just what it is. You may have to join a temple and do some research. You may have to get with a sheikh, an adept, or a divine minister in the Moorish Science Temple of America to understand that this is our system. I don't know. But what I'm telling you is that we cannot allow, not us or anybody, to hijack our system, our names, our symbols, and our identity. This is our identity. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. That's just what it is. So, like Ali Baba Haru said, the MST have always had ties to the prison system, just like MI. So, a criminal element will always be around. I don't think it will always be around. I think with brothers like me and brothers and sisters, members of the Noble Temples, we are pushing to do things the right way. We are pushing to do things the way that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali did it. And because the Prophet Noble Drew Ali gave us a clear example, it's not hard to do. We just need people who think their conditions can be better to join us and give a worthy contribution to the program as laid out by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Give a worthy contribution. See, because we have gotten to the point where we have simply become talking heads. We look at the problems of the day and we just talk about them. We don't want to organize around a solution and execute it. We just want to talk about the problems. So being conscious today is about talking about the problems. And when you look on social media, that's all you see. Everybody's giving an opinion about the problem. Well, family, what I'm doing, this is not an opinion about the problem. This is to divide and make a distinction so we won't be harassed as we move on the plan of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. When you see affairs, I don't want you to be confusing me with these sovereign citizens that mean themselves and their community no good. So we must set the record straight. Nobody is going to set it straight for us. And the brother earlier said, well, what about Pharaoh? What about Seti? What about, listen, we did that. We've been there, done that. It's about this Moorish house. It's about the house of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. It's about our nationality and those who subscribe to it. It's not about those who have no interest in striving this direction anyway. It's not about those. Sure, I might entertain that every now and again. But Sinetta don't have no desire to build a nation. Seti don't have a desire to build a nation. And surely Pharaoh don't have a desire to build a nation starting with his one block in his community. But I do have that desire. And members of the Noble Temples have that desire. And we want to do it up unobstructed. We don't want to have to deal with those accusing us of the tactics of Moorish sovereign citizens. We want to have our own school that's teaching our boys and girls to be upright. They're teaching our boys and girls the trades and the skills of the day. They're teaching our boys and girls to go into these halls of learning and bring back the education for our posterity. This is what the Moorish Science Temple of America Noble Temples is about. And this is what all Moorish Science Temples of America should be about. And so when one says that they are a member of the Moorish Science Temple of America, look for the best in them, as you would hope they would look for the best in you. But when you see someone claiming to be a Moorish American national or a Moorish national, know for sure that they are not following the teachings of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. They have picked up something from the internet. They have picked up something from those who have picked up something from the internet. And they are running with it. Many people choose the right to travel because they have a DWI. Many people choose a right to travel is because they have child support problems and have their license revoked. Many people choose squatting in a house is because they haven't found a way to afford a mortgage, or they haven't obtained enough money to buy an inexpensive property. And so they try to use these tactics. They try to use these tactics that will put them on equal footing with those who work hard. Many of us work hard to obtain a home. Many of us work hard to maintain insurance so we can drive our vehicle and protect the person walking down the street or the person driving beside us. In Moorish Science Temple of America, if you don't know anything about Moorish Science Temple of America, one thing that you should know is that it teaches us to be responsible and accountable to one another and our fellow man. That's the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. That's the teachings. So, if anybody wish to join or to take a meeting and see what we about, I'm putting the email right here, and the secretary will get back to you. But let me answer Brother Laylo question. Brother Laylo, he asked, how do we, I think he asked something about how do we obtain property? Well, brother, first of all, you want to purchase property, right? Let me see this. You want to purchase property. One second, let me get this real quick. First of all, you want to purchase property. But the best way to move is to move with a group. Move with a group. As we in the Noble Temples are building upon investment groups, move with a group that think like you. All Moors don't think alike. Even Moors that are in groups called the Moorish Science Temple of America don't think alike. Get with a group of Moors that think like you. Get with a group of Moors that think like you. And what I mean think like you, if you know that you want to make sure that your children are right when you are gone, then you get with some Moors who are working towards that for their children from an organizational perspective, not from an individual perspective. If you know that you are working and punching a clock, but your desire is to be independent from an economic standpoint, then you get with people. Then you get with people who are moving on that vibration. Now, you and I know that that doesn't happen overnight. It takes planning and it takes execution. Many of us don't stick around long enough for the execution. And right now, we are in the microwave age. We believe that we can pop something in, press a button for a minute, pop it out, and it's done. We want microwave liberation. We pop it in, press the button, pop it out, and we liberate it. But liberation don't work like that. Uplifting don't work like that. It takes time, planning, execution. We at the Noble Temples, we try to condense that into a reasonable time frame in order to produce the results that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali produced. And as I said, Prophet Noble Drew Ali was a $1 million corporation, religious corporation. He was about getting that bread because it takes finance to uplift the nation. Marcus Garvey made a statement to the effect that no race can be redeemed without industry. You see? You see? And so Sadiq El-Haq say, that's not true, bro. I'm a Moorish American national. And I'll say this before I go. A national is a citizen, and I don't draw off sovereignty. I follow Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Well, let me tell you something. Listen to the term Moorish American national. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali never used that term. Never used that term. You know what I'm saying? Never, ever use the term Moorish American national. Did you ever ask yourself why? Because in reality, it's a misnomer. It's not an actual term. It's a made-up term. It's a term made up in the 80s. Got popular in the 90s. And got some wings in the 2000s. Would you consider this? Have you ever heard somebody say, I'm an Italian American national? Have you ever heard someone say, I'm a Polish American national? Have you ever heard someone say, I'm a Chinese American national? You see how ridiculous that sounds? You see how ridiculous that sounds? Have you ever heard someone say, I'm a French American national, I'm a Mexican American national? Have you ever heard that? Of course you haven't. Because it's a made-up term. It's a made-up term. A Moorish American is sufficient. We are all nationals as it relates to the borders of the United States. But that is not a term that is coined to identify you legally or linguistically. In linguistics. This is just not a proper term. That is not a legal standing term. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali asked a question. What is your nationality? What is his nationality? Moorish American. What is your nationality? Moorish American. He never said Moorish American national. Never. That is a Johnny-come-lately term. And if you attach yourself to a Johnny-come-lately term, you actually cut yourself from your father. And I cannot say national is not a citizen. Let me say this. All nationals are not citizens, but all citizens are nationals. Yeah. All nationals are not citizens, but all citizens are nationals. But that only relates to the borders of the United States. Matter of fact, let me pull up something to clarify this to get you on tune. I'm going to just pull up something real quick. I'm going to pull up something real quick. Okay, I'm going to pull it up if I can find it real quick. Okay. I'm going to try to pull it up real quick. I think I got it right here. I'm going to pull it up real quick. Matter of fact, let me just pull it up like this. I'm going to just ask the question. Are nationals citizens? This should come right up. Should come up. I don't have it on deck right now, but that's okay. All right, here we go. Now I'm going to pull it up for you real quick. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and take this for a minute, because we already went through all of these things, right? We already went through this before, but I'm going to go through it one more time before I get out of here. Here we go. I'm going to go through it one more time before we get out of here. I just pulled it up real quick. And we can't circumvent the law. Here we go right here. All right. Here we go. All U.S. citizens are U.S. nationals, but there are some who are U.S. nationals but not citizens. You see that? All U.S. citizens are U.S. nationals, but there are some who are U.S. nationals but not U.S. citizens. Therefore, this article explains only about the U.S. nationals that are not U.S. citizens. U.S. national is a person born or having ties with the outlining possessions of the United States, which is, as of 2005, only American Samoa or Swain Islands. So if you say you are a national, what are you saying? I don't know what they taught you, but I'm going to try to get you right. Additionally, it also includes those individuals born abroad to U.S. national parents, or those born abroad to alien parents and one of U.S. national descent. Additionally, there is a residency requirement for parents of a child prior to birth. See, these are the laws. You can't circumvent this. In the past, those who were born in Guam, 1898, 1950, Puerto Rico, 1898, 1970, U.S. Virgin Islands, or the Philippines, etc., were U.S. nationals. However, now, those who are born in Guam, Puerto Rico, U.S. Virgin Islands are full U.S. citizens. And Philippines is independent country, and the citizen was never accorded to them. Rights and restriction. U.S. nationals cannot vote in any election or hold elected offices. So when you say that you are a U.S. national, when you say you are a Moorish American national, for one thing, ain't no such thing as that. Number two, if you're saying you are a Moorish national, forget the Moorish American. What kind of national are you saying? And that's the point. So family, if you wish to get your lessons up, if you wish to try to understand our purpose as it relates to the Moorish Science Temple of America and the divine plan of the ages, you are welcome to join the Noble Temples. Send an email to joinnobletemples.com. And we have a virtual temple online that these little screen shares that I showed now, it's nothing compared to what we teach in our temple meetings. We teach the real deal, and we teach how to execute what we're doing. We just don't teach it to talk about it. We teach it to execute it, because it's been too much talking going on for way too long. So with that being said, I appreciate y'all. Come again on Wednesday, and we are going to be talking about reparations. We are going to be talking about Africans, descendants of slaves. They call it ADOS, ADOS, Africans, descendants of slaves. We will be talking about that. We will be talking about reparations as it relates to the Moorish Americans. How do we feel about it? It's been a major conversation going on, and we are going to enter the conversation. With that being said, I appreciate y'all again. Y'all take care of yourself, and I'll see you next go around this Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. on Moorish World TV. I am your host, Brother Tahaka Bey. Others know me as Brother Grand Sheik T. Johnson Bey, but you can call me brother, and I'm your brother, and I mean that. So let's get together and let's build what we are supposed to be building, or let's build what should have been built a long time ago under one of the greatest documents, the greatest legal documents ever known. One of the greatest legal documents, the American Constitution. Let's get it. Peace and love. Peace and love, family. I'm out.